Hey guys, we're going to be running through the FitRanX level 1 test. I'm going to demonstrate the strength and conditioning portions. I'm going to be the example, running through the sets, reps and times according to the strict level testing protocol. Taryn's going to be doing a voiceover, sharing some tips, tricks and clues with coaching guidelines on how it's meant to be done in action. So this is official. All right, let's go.
Alright guys, so Robbie's heading into the 45-degree TRX row there. As you can see, his feet are directly beneath the anchor, feet are hip width apart, toes drawn up, and he's coming all the way down, full extension of the arms, and pulling all the way up so that those elbows are either in line with the torso or further. So for males, age bracket 1, which is what Robbie's doing here, he's going for 30 reps. Keep in mind that when you're doing this exercise, you need to complete all the reps without pausing or stopping in between. Unfortunately, there's no rest allowed until all your reps are completed. Okay, so that would be your level 1 test. Remember that if you're doing this as an assessment, it doesn't matter how far you get, just keep doing your best. We're just checking to see where you're currently at. Alright, so 1 minute rest now kicks in. So after each exercise, Robbie's going to have a minute's rest. That's what is expected in the strength portion for level 1. Next we have the 50 arms forward body weight squats coming up in 2 minutes. So here the timing is his own. All that's required is that he does his 50 squats in 2 minutes. Okay, still 20 seconds of rest. 10 seconds. 5, 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay, so keeping those arms up in front of him, he's dropping his bum at least in line with the knees or lower, whichever works best for you. Those will both be efficient. And it helps to just count out every 10, 20, 30 as you go along, or if you have somebody filming you, have them also count out. It just helps to make sure that you get the right amount of reps in. Like I said earlier, the 2 minutes is your own, so if you need to stop during, that's perfectly okay, as long as you get those 50 in within the 2 minutes. Okay, so that's 1 minute now down, 1 minute to go. So however fast you do this, remember what's left of your 2 minutes is extra rest for you. We have realized that generally your heart rate goes through the roof. You're generally quite out of breath after this exercise. So we do recommend that you try and get it done as quickly as possible in order to have as much time to rest and recover before going into your next strength element. Okay, so that is now 1.5 minutes done. Robbie still has his 30 seconds left of his 2 minutes plus his minute remaining coming up. So he's got plenty of time to just catch his breath and bring his heart rate down before we go into the 18-inch elevated push-up. Okay, so here at our gym, we specifically use just a regular gym bench. Whatever you have available is okay. As long as it's elevated, not going to slip away, that's all right. So Robbie's 2 minutes is now just passed. We have about 50 seconds remaining of his rest. Okay, so just another helpful, tip in the background for the person that is filming you. As you can see over there in the mirror, I'm filming Robbie as well as I have a stopwatch in my hand. So just have them, record your rest times in between the things like the squats where you need to, check times and whatnot. It'll just make things a little bit easier for you. And of course, just print out the test so that you have clear instructions on how long and what to do, especially if it's somebody else that's filming you, not you yourself, who's generally familiar with the layout. Right, coming up to the push-ups in 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay, so body is nice and straight, his feet are hip width apart and his hands are outside his shoulders. He's just going to be lowering his body down towards that bench as if he's touching chest to the bench, making sure that his hips aren't elevated or sagging at the bottom. So here Robbie's going for 25 for the men in age bracket 1. Keep in mind that you cannot stop during this exercise, so you need to complete all 25 reps without standing up or dropping to the knees. It's okay if you stop at the top of the push-up position, as in holding a straight arm plank. That's all right, but you need to finish the reps before you stand. Okay, so again, 1 minute rest now kicks in after those push-ups. Next up, we have the static bridge coming up. Again, you're going to need the stopwatch in order to time those 2 minutes. So feel free to grab out a mat, or some people don't mind the floor, that's all right. Okay, so there's Robbie laying down. What he's going to do here is he's just going to be laying down flat on his back with his feet hip width apart, toes drawn up towards the ceiling, and he's going to lift those hips up nice and high so that everything makes a straight line from the shoulders to the elbows to the knees. And he's just going to maintain that position for the full 2 minutes. All right, keep in mind again, with this exercise, you're not allowed to drop at all for the duration of the 2 minutes. Dropping at any point would qualify as an automatic failure. Okay, 10 seconds still remaining of the minute's rest. 3, 2, 1, and up. All right, there's that static bridge position. Okay, so this is a nice fun little exercise. Generally about a minute in, you really start to feel the hamstrings and the glutes set on fire. It helps if you chat into somebody around you, just to take your mind off that burn that's happening, just to distract the mind a little bit. That's 30 seconds down, 1 minute 30 remaining. How are you feeling?
Hamstrings are burning.
Okay, hamstrings are burning. All right, that's 1 minute down, 1 minute to go. We've just reached the halfway mark. We're nearly there. So this is exercise 4 of the strength portion. He's nearly done with all 5 of them. It's 1 minute 30 seconds to go. Okay, so what does tend to happen is as you're holding this position, obviously you start to get tired, core's getting weak, etc. The hips do tend to start sagging a little bit, so just keep that in mind. Make sure that they stay upright all the time, and remind yourself to do a hip check to make sure that they stay up nice and high, forming that straight line. 10 seconds. Last 5, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Okay, 1 minute rest once again. Now we are going into the last element of the strength component for level 1, which is your plank. Okay, so you can see some nervous laughs over there. It's generally the hardest part of level 1. Planking just simply sucks for everyone. So with this one in level 1, we are going to be holding the plank position from the elbows for 1 minute and 30 seconds. So 90 seconds in total, where Rob's elbows are going to be directly beneath the shoulders, feet are going to be hip width apart, and body's going to be nice and straight. So no hips in the air, no saggy bums, just that rock solid plank position. So we still got a couple of seconds with regards to the rest. And then we're going to use that stopwatch again to time the plank for 1 minute and 30 seconds. The last one of the strength portion for level 1. Okay, 15 seconds. Okay, get ready. 3, 2, 1, and up. Alright, so you can see there, body's nice and straight, his hips aren't elevated, nothing sagging. We do recommend that you check this position out, the specific strength element out on the mat or on the floor that it is that you're going to be doing it on. Some people's shoes tend to slip and slide, of which then that's obviously not going to be great for this exercise. And of course, if at any point you drop during the plank, that would be an automatic fail as well. So it is a bit of a mental push. This is where your grit comes out. Again, if you have somebody to chat to or make things a little bit easier, that'll definitely get you through the 1.5 minute plank. He's checking his own timer over there. Okay, so we've just passed the 1 minute mark. We now have 30 seconds to go. Although it feels like you're out of the woods, the last 30 seconds is generally the hardest. That's when the shakes and the rumbles start to begin. Just hang in there. You've come this far. This is the last one of the strength. You're nearly done. You can do it. Last 10 seconds. Last 5, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Okay, 1 minute rest. Right guys, so now we're going to be going into the conditioning element of the level 1 test. The first part would be the 60 regular swings in 2 minutes. So we have a timer that we use. It's available on Android, unfortunately not on iOS, called Tabata Timer, although you're welcome to use any other timer app, anything like that that works best for you. What's great about it is it obviously sets up your exercises, your reps, your rest in between and after sets, etc. It just makes things a little bit easier. So coming up, Robbie's going to be doing 60 regular swings within the 2 minutes. Again, just like the squats, the time is his own, so he can stop and start as much as he likes, as long as he gets those swings in within the 2 minutes. Okay. Okay, so there we go. We have Rob doing his regular swings. As you can see, that kettlebell is being punched up to shoulder height, and it is a hinge movement, so you can see Rob is dropping his chest down, bending over from the hips and snapping it through with the glutes. Okay, so notice the bend over and snap motion, not an up and down squat motion.
20.
Okay, so just like your squats, remember that however fast you do this, say for instance you do it in 1 minute and 40 seconds, you would have 20 seconds remaining of your 2 minutes as extra rest before your minute kicks in. Okay, so again, we're going into that first try set of level 1, which is quite tiring, so try and get this done as quickly as you can in order to bank that extra rest time. But of course, if it takes you the full 2 minutes, that's also okay. Right, we have 45 seconds remaining of the 2 minutes left. All right, 30 seconds remaining of the 2 minutes. So Robbie essentially has 1 minute and 30 seconds rest before starting that first try set. So just to explain the first try set, this is where we really start to challenge the conditioning aspect of things. whereby Robbie's going to be doing 3 exercises back to back, each for 30 seconds long with 10 seconds in between. And once he's done all 3, he will have a minute's rest. So the first exercise is going to be seal jacks, followed by suitcase carry, which he'll be swapping halfway through the 30 seconds. So it's not 30 seconds each side, it's 15-15. And then the last one, the third exercise of the tricep, will be mountain climbers, sorry. So seal jacks, suitcase carry, mountain climbers. That he'll do for 30 seconds each, 10 seconds in between, 1 minute's rest afterwards, and then repeat an additional 2 more times, so that he's done it 3 times in total before the level 1 test is complete. Don't put your weight away, you need it. Okay, still 25 seconds of the rest remaining. Let's come over this side so we can get a better angle of what Rob's going to be doing. Right, here we go. First one, seal jacks of tricep 1. Alright, so as you can see, Rob's arms are nice and straight. They're staying up in line with the shoulders, and they are crisscrossing across his chest. And his legs are doing the exact same, crisscrossing at the bottom as well, following the motion of his arms. So remember, you need to do these seal jacks for the entire 30 seconds. Stopping at any point to stop, catch your breath, or for any reason would be an automatic fail. Okay, now we have 10 seconds before we get into the suitcase carry. Make sure that kettlebell is up in your hand and you're standing up nice and straight before the 30 seconds kicks in. And we're going to switch at the 15-second mark. Okay, so it doesn't matter how far you walk, just try and stay on camera and make sure that posture is right, chest is upright, everything's nice and straight, that you're controlling that weight with your core and not leaning over, and that you switch hands at the 15-second mark. Okay, suitcase carry is done. 10 seconds again before we go into the mountain climbers. All right, so the fun one of level 1, he's going to get down to the ground, hands are going to be directly beneath the shoulders, and he's switching those feet, making sure that both make contact with the ground. Okay, so no running in the air like a lot of people tend to like to do mountain climbers. With our mountain climbers, both feet are making contact and switching in the air at the same time. So again, just like all the other exercises, you need to continue to do these for the whole 30 seconds without stopping or pausing in between. And remember, if you do happen to drop to your knees at any point, that is an automatic fail. Okay, so that's the first tricep done. We now have an entire minute rest again before we do that all over again. Okay, so the seal jacks, suitcase carry, mountain climbers, we're going to be repeating just like that 2 more times before we are done. Okay, so we have about 10 seconds left before we start that second tricep. Just a helpful tip when it comes to the mountain climbers, something that we see quite often. Make sure that you tuck in your shirt, make sure your shoelaces are tied, that everything's tucked away. We do tend to see that people accidentally stop during the mountain climbers to fix their top or tuck it into their pants, and without realizing it, they end up failing their level 1. Okay, so don't sabotage yourself like that. Make sure that everything's tucked in. Okay, so seal jacks again, set 2. There we go, 10 seconds in between. We're going to grab that kettlebell again and just walk with a nice, natural, good posture. So with regards to the walk, just another tip, it doesn't matter how fast or slow you're walking, as long as you're at a steady pace, that you're not really dragging that kettlebell, but you also don't need to be racing around the room. Just a regular gait. Okay, nearly done. There we go. All right, mountain climbers for the second set. Okay, these are always the worst, but it's 30 seconds, and the great thing is that directly after that you have that 4 minute of rest. Okay, so try and let that be your motivation. Yes, you're tired at this point, but the rest is coming directly after this, so get through it. You can catch your breath, stand up, and get some air straight after. Okay, nearly there. Okay, so you can see Robbie's tucked in his shirt already. He's used to that trick. Almost done. Okay, and another minute's rest. So that is now 2 sets complete. We've got 1 more to go before Rob will have passed his level 1. About 20 seconds left to go. Okay, so this is where you should be starting to get excited. You're nearly done. Literally got to do those 3 exercises one last time, and then you will have become the next level you. All right, last one. Let's do it. Almost there. Okay, seal jacks are now done for the last time. We're going to grab that kettlebell and we're going to do that suitcase carry. Okay, so you'll see generally when a person starts to get tired, their posture and form starts to collapse. So this is where that suitcase carry really challenges your posture and your core. So make sure that everything's nice and tight and engaged, that you're not counteracting with any other part of your body. Make sure that that chest is up, shoulders is back, and that you're just walking naturally. And of course, switching at the halfway mark. All right, guys, this is the final 30 seconds. Last one is your mountain climbers. We're coming up to the finish line. All right, let's do it. Go, Rob. There we go. Both feet making contact, keeping that steady rhythm. He's just gonna cruise his way to the finish line. And in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes! Right, guys, so that is what your level 1 looks like. There's a happy Rob. Get forming yours and send it through. Let's see what you can do.